Hello, this is Dr. Luke at ClearSight Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is how I perform the DLR. So first we start by using the femtosecond laser to create the capsulotomy, followed by the fragmentation of the crystalline lens. Now, after the fragmentation, we correct the astigmatism, and we move on to the operating room. So here I'm using a small blade in order to create a paracentesis or a side port, or in other words, a way for me to enter the eye. It must be wide enough for the cannula to enter the eye. This is approximately 1 millimeter in diameter. Here we inject numbing medication or preservative-free lidocaine into the eye in order to keep the eye dilated as well as to keep the patient comfortable. Here is viscoelastic in order to keep the eye formed during the remainder of the procedure. The patient may experience a kaleidoscope of colors at this point. Sometimes I use a blade, sometimes I don't. Here I use a blade to make the primary incision, widening only the inside of the wound. And here I use a forceps to remove the capsulotomy, or the front part of the capsule of the natural lens, which have been created by the femtosecond laser. Here I use BSS, or a type of saline solution, in order to free the lens from the capsule. I use ultrasound energy or phagoemulsification in order to finish the fragmentation of the lens. I make one pass here. Most of it has already been done by the laser. And then I start to break the lens into smaller, more manageable pieces. And then I use the aspiration or the vacuum in order to remove the pieces. Here you can see one segment being removed and aspirated. And then we move on to a little bit later in the case, removing another segment. And here we rotate the lens, which has been freed from the capsule previously. Here we have yet another segment to remove. Now that it's all been removed, jumping ahead, this is another segment called the irrigation aspiration, where I remove any lens materials which are still adhered or attached to the natural capsule. I typically start right underneath the wound and move around in a clockwise fashion, finishing over here. Now that all of the cortex or the remaining lens material has been removed, I use a silicone tip in order to free up any remaining lens material that I've missed, called polishing. Here I inject the eye with viscoelastic again to make sure that it's firm, so that I may place the new lens. Here I am placing a Technis multifocal lens, one that will allow the patient to see both far away and up close. It is rolled up similar to a taco. And then I'll be using another instrument in order to unroll the lens within the lens capsule. Perfect. Then I use the irrigation and aspiration again in order to remove the viscoelastic material from the eye. And I also tap the lens in order to make sure that any material is removed from underneath the lens. I then hydrate the wounds, and they are self-sealing, and check the eye to make sure, wounds to make sure that they are watertight. Thank you so much.